Hello again, everyone. Welcome to our new video. In previous videos, we talked about the basic parts of technical analysis. Let's start with a little reminder. Technical analysis is basically a subject based on predicting price movements and interpreting graphics. It is important to know and recognize trend movements, support resistance levels in order to read the chart. This information shows us the possible future movement of the price. There is another theory that we did not mention in previous videos. This theory tends to repeat itself in certain periods unless the chart is an extreme situation. In today's video, we will do technical analysis for you to be practical. Today, we will discuss 4 technology companies traded on NASDAQ. Without further ado, let's start by adding our companies to the list. The first stock we will examine is Intel. Today, we will look at the stocks we will examine in 2 time frames. First, we will examine 1-hour and then 4-hour candles. This is because the stock market generally changes every 4 hours, and 1-hour candles can give us the signal of these changes in advance. Let's move on to our review. Here, we see that we have determined a maximum point at 26.6 levels and then experienced a decline. After this decline, the 25.5 level acted as a resistance for us. The price tried to break this point 3 times but failed and rebounded. When it rebounded for the 3rd time, the stock started a fast and voluminous downtrend. In general, after these fast trends, the chart creates a consolidation zone. As we can see in the figure, we have a consolidation at the end of the downtrend. We talked about consolidation in previous videos. In the following videos, we will see how to open a transaction in consolidation, which points provide us with signals and potential to open a transaction. Right now, we are just reinforcing what we have learned. Yes, this is how we are in 1-hour candles. Let's take a look at 4-hour candles. Yes, one of the first things we see here is that the chart we mentioned at the beginning tends to repeat itself. When we look, the chart has created a consolidation zone after every trend. Apart from this, if you notice, the chart has determined a bottom point for itself and used it as support. When it got close to this point, it started an uptrend and moved away from that area. When we collect all these analyses, we can make the following comment. When our stock leaves the consolidation area, it will form an uptrend because the price has approached our support area again in this consolidation. Let's analyze our last stock and end the video slowly. The first thing we see here is a jump, and the volume of the candle before and after the jump is high. When we look back, we notice that the price did not make such a move before. The purpose of looking back, as I said before, is that the charts tend to repeat themselves. We call these short-term and high-volume changes imbalance. The feature of imbalance points is that the price then moves in the opposite direction of imbalance to balance this sudden change. When we switch to 4-hour candles, we observe that the stock has made this imbalance a few more times, and as a result, our price has dropped to the support point. Looking at the bigger picture, we see that the stock is in a long-term consolidation movement. If the price has attempted to break the support of the consolidation zone, it's a signal that it could fall even lower with imbalanced candles. However, considering that we were in a downtrend before, and the price had already fallen to very low levels, we can also hypothesize that the price might break the consolidation zone upwards. In these cases, we determine order blocks to identify where to open a transaction. We currently have 2 possible order blocks to monitor. It's crucial to wait for confirmations before acting on them. In future videos, we will explain in detail when to buy and when to sell stocks based on these concepts. For now, our goal is to understand the fundamentals of stock analysis and develop a solid foundation. By observing imbalances, consolidation zones, and order blocks, you'll start recognizing patterns and opportunities in the market with greater confidence. Now we can move on to our other stock. When we look at our current stock in general, it is in a long-term uptrend and has made small consolidations in between to recover its volume. Let's move on to a more detailed analysis now. When we look at the 1-hour time frame, what we see directly is a support point. The price has tried to break this point several times but has not been successful. When we move on to the 4-hour time frame, A shoulder-head-shoulder formation has formed at the end of the uptrend here. This formation is a messenger of a possible downward movement, and a decrease as much as the distance between the head point and the shoulders is targeted. There will be a video explaining these types of formations in the future. We can skip this formation for now. The conclusion we can draw from this is that the price has tried to break the support zone too much. Usually after 4 or 5 attempts, the support and resistance zones are broken, and the formation informs us of the downward movement. Let's analyze our last stock and end the video slowly. The first thing we see here is a jump, and the volume of the candle before and after the jump is high. When we look back, we see that the price did not make such a move. The purpose of looking back, as I said before, is that the charts tend to repeat themselves. We call these short-term and high-volume changes imbalance. The feature of imbalance points is that the price then moves in the opposite direction of imbalance to balance this sudden change. When we move on to 4-hour candles, we see that the stock has made this imbalance a few more times, and then our price fell to the support point. When we look more generally, we see that the stock is in a long-term consolidation movement. And if the price has tried to break the support of the consolidation zone, we can say that it will fall even lower with imbalanced candles, but we were in a downtrend before and the price fell to very low levels, so we can say that the price will break the consolidation zone upwards. In these cases, we will determine order blocks to determine where to open a transaction. We have 2 possible order blocks right now. We will come to a video that explains in detail when to buy and when to sell stocks. Right now, we are just learning the basics of stock analysis. Yes, friends. Today, we evaluated 4 technology stocks. These stocks are generally stocks that will not strain your budget too much, and as I said, these analyses are at the beginner level, meaning we do not give any investment advice. It is important for you to understand this. When you decide to trade, you need to evaluate your capital well. To summarize what I mentioned in the video, changing the timing of the candles and analyzing the candles in low time frames can give us clues for movements that will occur in the long term. It is important to adjust the analysis according to the time frame you want to trade for the long term. Apart from this, the indicators and graphic formations we will learn in the upcoming videos will help us make more precise predictions. Luckily, we were able to see most of the topics we learned in this video in stocks. We just did not pay much attention to candle formations because candle formations are generally more useful in low time frames. If you want to receive videos like this and this, do not forget to like, follow, and open notifications. Our next video will be about indicators and their usage. See you in the next video.